Guess what, guys? I'm a college student now. Ooh, it's not that great, but I'm back, and I have a computer now that's all my own, so I can start making weekly messages and stuff. So be looking for it, on YouTube. The name is Samuel Brush, or on the Facebook page City on a Hill. The My message today, what I want to talk to you guys about, is standing firm against the things of this world. I got the inspiration for this because a few days ago I was talking to my one friend who goes to a different college that isn't a Christian college. And she was talking about some stuff that a lot of Christians are dealing with right now in the world today about the views that the Bible talks about being different from the worldly views. So I told her, and I started quoting these verses, and I'm going to read these well, I didn't quote them, I texted them to her, but I'm going to read these verses to you. I'm starting in Ephesians 6, chapter 6, starting in verse 10. It says, "Finally be strong in the Lord and in his mighty power. Put on the full armor of God so that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes. For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. Therefore, put on the full armor of God, so that when the day of evil comes, you may be able to stand your ground, and after you have done everything, to stand." Verse 14, "Stand firm then with the belt of truth buckled around your waist, with the breastplate of righteousness in place, and with your feet fitted with the readiness that comes from the gospel of peace. In addition to all this, take up the shield of faith, with which you can extinguish all the flaming arrows of the evil one. Take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God. And pray in the Spirit on all occasions with all kinds of prayers and requests. With this in mind, be alert and always keep on praying for all the saints." Paul is writing to the church in Ephesus, and basically he's telling them, listen, guys, though it manifests itself as flesh and blood a lot of the time, the things we face, the true enemy that we're facing isn't a person or an institution or a government. We're facing an evil that is behind this, and this evil is the devil and his fallen angels that fell with him, and this is the force that we're facing. And see, since we're not facing flesh and blood, we can't win. How are we supposed to stand firm? Paul tells us to stand firm. But then he goes on to tell us the rest of it, and he talks about the armor of God. And everything has its place in the armor of God. Now, I'd like to point out one thing first. There is only one offensive weapon in the armor of God, and it's the sword of the Spirit, or the Word of God, right here, the Bible. See, because though we need to be offensive some of the time, we need to first defend ourselves and guard ourselves from the attacks of the evil one. And so everything that's listed, I'm just gonna briefly cover a few of them. The breastplate of righteousness. Righteousness, a lot of the time, has to do with our heart and our souls. And so he used those metaphors because that's what everybody would know back then, that a breastplate covers the chest area. And so the heart is protected. So we need to be righteous and holy. And will we mess up? Yes, but thankfully for us, God offers us redemption and when we ask for forgiveness. So we put on righteousness so that our hearts are protected. And then we have to, in my opinion, it is the most important of them all, is the belt of truth. You see, armor, when you're wearing armor, your belt is what holds just about all of it together. And so what Paul is trying to say there is that truth is the key. Because see, without truth, you can't have faith. Without truth, you can't have righteousness. Without truth, you can't have salvation. Without truth, you can't have readiness, or and the sword of the Spirit. Without truth, not everything is out. So today, I just touched on a few of those, and I would encourage you to dive deeper into the other ones I didn't mention. The shield of faith, and the helmet of salvation, and the shoes of readiness. Dive deeper into those, because you can spend. I could write like a 10-week series just on the armor of God, but I'm not gonna do that. I won't force you guys to go through that one right now. But so just as we go off and we start our new year, our school years, our college years, our job, whatever it is that we're starting again, or starting, starting for the first time or starting again, just remember that our struggle isn't against flesh and blood. It's against rulers and dark powers in the heavenly realms, but we can't face them on our own. But thankfully, God gives us the armor of God to protect ourselves. Have a great week, guys, and I will see you next week.